So I found this little video and I'm like, looked interesting. Let's go ahead and watch it. See if any of us know any of these things that are going to pop up on it. And I don't know why. When I saw it, I was like, huh, this actually looks like something really cool. Every feeling you can't name explained. If it's a feeling that you can't name, how the fuck do they know? But there's a couple of, anyway, there's a couple of them on here that I see and I'm like, I already know what these are, or I at least know where they stem from. The one that I see here, and I don't know if these are all of them. Well, I mean, there's some we can't see. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and do a reacts to this right here. I know I found it interesting. It's only 10 minutes, and then we'll hop into some gaming. Let's see what it's all about.
Sonder. You're sitting in traffic and you glance over.
That's how we started off.
Sonder.
No, no intro, no nothing. Sonder. Okay.
You're sitting in traffic and you glance over at the car next to you. There's just some random person in there tapping their finger.
This motherfucker. Is that they use the RDC? What skit was this? I've seen a lot of their skits. Like I've seen a lot of their skits now. These motherfuckers are hilarious.
Fingers on the wheel, completely in their own world. And for a second, it hits you. That person has an entire life, a childhood, a set of fears, an argument they've been replaying all week, a favorite song, people they love.
Yo, no. This is fucking crazy. This can't just be about like the car scene. This just has to be an in general sort of thing. I don't know how often y'all get. I get this all the time. I've had. I've said this a million times on stream. As a child, I was the person who always watched people. The reason why is because I was looking at them and just realizing, like, huh, they do the same stuff as me. I mean, being a kid, I mean, as adults, it's like they doing some other shit. But it's like you start playing out like, damn, they're alive too. Like, not only are they alive, but then I started like, I wonder why they have this face on, like this emotion on their face. As an adult, I look at it and I'm just like, damn, why are they so sad? Like I know what these emotions are now. Like I can see it. You just it's like what just happened to them? Did they just get into an argument with somebody? Did they just get broken up? Like, oh, those are the worst to see right there. The ones where you know somebody got broken up with. Oh Lord, have mercy. I saw it with a female here, and I remember I was walking down the street. What city was I? I think I was in Shibuya. She had just come out of this fucking place, and heard her. I heard what she said, and I was just like, "Ooh, fine, fine girl too." Her dude had just broke up with her, and she did not understand why at all. And it was just I tried, like, was saying to Japanese, she's like, I was trying to, what do you love? And I was just like, oh, nigga, like, you rarely ever see people have this much emotion on the streets of Japan. But when it does happen, and I mean, a lot of the times that I've seen it, it has been over breakups. Another girl, her whole, like, she was, I mean, every time, it's just that pain. I'm just like, oh, I know what just happened to you. And then I saw this one dude. Oh my God. I've seen it with a couple of Japanese dudes, but the one that I felt so bad for was this foreigner. This is white boy. The There's a place where I used to go almost every morning, like when I go and take my walks and go and have breakfast, I'd always stop by this one specific area. And it's just a place where everybody goes to sit down, either because they've already started working after it's been like 2 hours there at work or whatever. They need a quick break. They need to like sit down, relax. Something happened off, whatever. This girl comes up and she's talking to him, but you can tell he doesn't understand, and he pulled out translate. Like I felt bad because I'm walking past this, and I saw his phone, and he's got translate up, and so he's talking into it and showing it to her, and this whole thing is playing out in front of me, and she's saying these things, not wanting to use the translate, but she's breaking up with him. And what's shitty about it is there's technically two reasons she's breaking up with. There could have been a whole nother one, but she's trying to be really polite in the breakup. But she felt really bad because they couldn't really communicate. But more than anything, it was her parents, and she was trying to downplay the parents thing like super fucking tough. And at the end of it, when she left, that boy, oh man, young man, he had to been like, looked like he was probably like 20 something, something like that. I mean, the heartbreak on him, I was just like, ugh. But this right here, no, I can't lie. And man, there's so many times in a day I'm looking, I'm just like, huh. They have this whole fucking life and they're just going through it, and the faces, the mask that people put on, like let me stop, I can get carried away with this right here, fuck.
A whole story that's just as long and complicated as yours. And you'll drive away and never know a single thing about any of it.
Yep.
That feeling
Yep.
is called sonder.
Okay, so I guess that part right there, for the instances that I know what happened, and I like hear things or I see something specific that tells me, is like, I wonder if that still is categorized as sonder. But there's so many other times where it's just like I know nothing about these individuals. I just see that, fuck. Like that's what it's crazy. We walk around so much in our own little space, in our own little bubble. It's like everyone else is NPCs, but it's like, nah, nigga. At some point in time, other people are looking at you as the NPC because they are just living their life just exactly the same as you are.
It's that moment when you realize that every single person around you is living a life that's just as full and real as yours. It sounds obvious when you say it out loud, but
Right.
actually feeling it, really feeling it, is something different. It usually hits in crowded places. Train stations, busy streets, airports. Your brain tries to actually grasp that every face you see is a whole person, and then it kind of gives up because the scale is too much.
It's too much.
It's one of those feelings.
It's too vast. It's like, bruh, think about this. Right now, or tonight, when I leave here, I know that it's no more than 5 minute walk that I'm gonna take from here to the station, and it's Saturday. It's it's Saturday. It's gonna be Saturday night. There's gonna be easily. I'm gonna walk past easily 3 to 5 thousand people easily, and that might be lowballing it. I'm not joking about that. I'm not even joking about that. And then when I get home, before I even go to the other city I'm going to go and eat tonight, to my friend's izakaya, I am going like that street right there. Oh my god! Just crossing the street, I'm going to like be surrounded by potentially an easy 2 to 3 thousand. This isn't even me walking 5 minutes. I mean, literally, at the corner that I'm going to be standing to cross the street to get to my place, I'm going to be surrounded by somewhere in the realm of 3,000 people alone. And every one of them, yo, like it can be an overwhelming sort of thing. I think I deal with it very well, but I understand why so many people catch anxiety when they're in large crowds.
That's hard to describe as
I
either
like
good
it.
or bad. It's just big. Hi, Wreath. You probably know what nostalgia feels like.
空が見えたら県外でも日本中つなぐぞソフトバンクスターリンクダイレクト始まる
I'm tripping right now. High
Where does Uncle go on Easy Barrel?
Hyrith, that word I don't think I've ever heard or used it. Of course, I've never used it if I've never heard it, but it doesn't even seem like, not like it's not like a real word, but it doesn't seem like grounded in any language. Like Latin, like you can take most words, and when you look at it, you can break it down and figure out what it is or what it means if you understand language, if you understand Latin especially, because that's where a lot of like most words are formulated. So this one,
Warm, slightly
I don't know.
sad pull toward the past. But there's a version of it that goes a step further, where you're not just missing a time, you're missing a place, or a feeling, or a version of your life that doesn't exist anymore. And the hard part is that even if the place still exists, the thing you're actually missing doesn't. You can go back, but it won't be the same. In Welsh, they call this Hyrith. It's a longing for
Oh,
home.
that's why it's Welsh. Like, don't nobody understand Welsh. Like, yo, that's a hell of a language right there. That's a hell of a language. Like for real, for real. Wow. But this concept right here, I mean, it's so obvious though. I guess when I here's the thing, because by the way, what games you gonna play first? Oh, I think first it's gonna be Battlefield 6. I got it to work. I got it to work. So hopefully, we can go to get a couple matches in, and hopefully Teflon's on because I know he has that game too. But Battlefield 6 red set. This right here, I've told you all like the way my brain works, but I remember like everything. I can like when I look, if I have to recall a certain instance, I can recall specific details, everything else. Like I think I told you as this girl that I was messing with, I'd seen her in years, whatever. And we were talking one day, and then like she brought up something, and then I broke down that entire scene exactly the way it was, right down to what she was wearing while we were standing out on my. Yeah. Anyway, that was a freaky ass. That was a freaky ass scene. But I always do that, and I actually like feel those moments too. I thought I, but here's the thing. I understand that you. This is so hard to explain because of how fucking twisted this concept actually is. I understand it's saying like you can never go back to that place. I understand that. You can still have the emotion, but the reality of what that place was can never be again. So it's like going back home to a house that you used to live in, and you have that nostalgia and you long for that nostalgia. So for the people who can't conceive that they can't go back to that instance, those are the people that usually have some kind of real fucked up psychopathy. Yeah, this is kind of scary.
But a home you can't return to, or maybe one that never quite existed the way you remember it.
Oh, that's the
Welsh
worst.
speakers will tell you it genuinely doesn't translate into English. Not because they're being dramatic, but because we really don't have a word for it.
Okay, so all
People
right,
feel it for their
that's why I've never fucking heard the word, and it made no sense to me at all.
childhood neighborhood after it changes, for the early days of a relationship, for a summer that felt like it would last.
Ooh, that's the word. Listen, hey, chat, for real. What is something that you think or you thought at one point in time? Because if you still think it, you still think it. What is something that you thought was the true memory that you had, but then you realized that it really wasn't as great of a memory as you thought you were remembering? That relationship shit, I think that's a huge one for people. It's like the beginning of relationships too. They can be tricky because you're on that high. You're in that, what do they call, what's it called, the honeymoon period. But then if that relationship falls apart just after that honeymoon period, or what the honeymoon period is like a 2 week to a month sort of situation. So if the relationship falls apart in month 2 and you're on the side of I don't understand why, and the other person's pointing out all these little things, you obviously are misremembering something in the start of your relationship. Oh, that's fucking painful.
Forever. There's a grief to it, even though technically nothing bad happened. Things just moved on, and somewhere in that gap, Hiriath lives. Limerence.
Wait,
You
what I
know that
say?
things just moved on, and somewhere in that gap,
A deep inborn sense of yearning for a home, a feeling, a place, or a person that is beyond this plane of existence. Okay, that's just insane. I've had that feeling before. There's a place nearby or hang out with my friends, and it doesn't feel the same because they're gone. Right, but so yeah, no, I think that's fair. That's fair in this. This encompasses so much, but I think that's a very fair assessment. Like because they're no longer there, it's like you can still go back to that place and have these fond memories, but it's just not the same. It's not right anymore because that time period is gone and the people that were there during that time period. So that's a compound on it right there.
Hiriath lives. Limerence. You know that
Limerence.
phase early on with someone you like, where your brain basically stops working? You've had maybe 2 real conversations with this person, but you've already thought about them an embarrassing number of times.
Yeah. This is where stalkers are born. Listen, don't fucking fall for it. Hey yo, hey yo. This either creates amazing relationships that will stand the test of time, or when they end, oh, they're going to end terribly, or it creates stalkers. That's what this one sounded like so far. Limerence.
You check your phone more than you want to admit. When they do message, there's this little rush that doesn't make sense given how little you actually know them. That's not just a crush. A psychologist named Dorothy Tenoff studied this in the
Yeah.
1970s and gave it a name, limerence.
It's
What
a
makes it different
lingering
from just liking
situation.
someone is how involuntary it is. You're not choosing to think about them constantly. Your brain is just doing it, over and over, and it doesn't stop until it gets the information it's looking for.
So this is beyond the concept of longing or lingering feelings or emotions. This is beyond that, is what she essentially came up with.
Because the real thing limerence is after is reciprocation. It's not just about the person, it's about whether they feel it too.
I need
Every
that
small thing
same.
they do gets read into. A fast reply means something, a slow one means something else.
All right, y'all. Let's be honest. How many of y'all got that going on in your head? Oh, wait a minute. She didn't reply back. It's been fuck. It's been 20. It's been 20 minutes. I know she's a female. She has her phone on her at all times. Like, why didn't she reply back? Oh, I don't believe that nigga. He didn't reply back. He had over an hour. Oh, you didn't. What? Oh, he don't care about me. Like, come on now. Come on. Come on. They left me on red. They just saw the message. Why haven't they replied back? Come on now. How many of y'all have done this shit?
The moment the uncertainty disappears, either they like you back
Hey yo, what's good, Case? Hey, nah, this video, it's been interesting so far. It's called "Every Feeling You Can't Name Explained." How many times have you done that, Case? How many shorties you done messaged and you was like, why did she message me back?
a slow one means something else. The moment the uncertainty disappears, either they
She
like you
cheating on
back
me.
or they don't, the feeling tends to fade pretty quickly, which tells you a lot about what it actually was.
That's crazy. I need y'all to listen to that again. That is fucking crazy.
Something else. The moment the uncertainty disappears, either they like you back or they don't, the feeling tends to fade pretty quickly, which tells you a lot about what it actually was.
Yo, yo. That is some meaty shit right there. Yo, chat. But I think the greater number of human beings actually have that need. It's a need of acceptance, is what it is. Even more so in this case, it's a need of love, of connection, of you know, human connection, interaction in that way. That's exactly what that is. Like that's dependency, my ninjas. On some level, your feelings are directly attached to whether or not this person actually reciprocates your want for them. Yo,
Canopsia. There's something specifically unsettling about a place built for people when the people are
I fucking knew it because I knew that I know this word. Yo, yo, this this is so real. I love this feeling though. I really love it because it's not just exciting to me, it's so intriguing to me. It's so like you know what? Let's let them go ahead. I'm about to rant for a second after this one. Oh, this is great.
unsettling about a place built for people when the people are gone. A school during summer break, an office on a Sunday evening, a stadium an hour after the game ended, cups still on the floor, lights still on. These places were designed for crowds. The chairs, the signs, the layout,
But there's
all of it
nobody in
assumes
that
people are
bitch.
supposed to be there.
Yep.
And when they're not, something feels off in a way that's hard to explain. That's canopsia, the eerie feeling you get in an abandoned place that used to be full of life.
This is why, this is why this is used so much in horror anything. Horror stories, horror movies, horror. It's so much better when you see. I don't know. I don't know if it's so much better when you can actually visually see it or if you put it together in your own mind. Like the two, there's a different level to each one. Think about like a good book, a good horror story that you read, and they talk about an abandoned, large scale building. The shit that can go through your mind as you reading that story, knowing that it's creeping you out that this place that's supposed to be full of people, has no one in it. That's eerie enough as it is. Same thing in a movie when they do that shit in a movie. One like zombie movies and things like that when they start off and like there's nobody around. 28, what was it, 28 days later, I think the first 28 days later was like that, where he's walking down the street and there ain't a soul in a city you know it's supposed to be packed. This is like the ultimate horror thing. Horror games, same exact thing. Decrepit, emptied out areas or wastelands or whatever where there should be life, but there is none. So what happened? Me personally, I love this. I I go out and when I take walks, like if I do it, especially early in the morning. In the states, it's so different because if you live in certain, you know, residence communities or whatever, there's not that many people that are out and about on the streets with you. Here, if I were out in the countryside, whatever, it wouldn't be expected that every morning when I get up, there should be a couple thousand people roaming around. But early in the morning, it's so still. Late at night, it can be extremely still and eerie. And you might still see these bright neon lights up, but then I like walking down alleyways where I know no one's gonna be just because like the look of the alleyway, like finding a little shop that might be open down this alleyway that I've never tried, or just that feeling of being out in the fresh air all alone in a place that is supposed to have thousands of people like moving through it, and then I come out of that alleyway and there's no one there. It is so, I don't know why it's so amazing to me, but it really is. And it feels really good to experience that sometimes, especially when it's a thing of like your brain just never fucking slows down. So to be in that sort of element, it's like I can just focus on one thing right now. And the only thing I want to focus on at that point in time is this surrounding quiet. I don't know. I like this. It may sound weird. I love had The Walking Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, exactly. All of those, they all use this very thing right here. I don't think it's odd to have that feel because I love the surrounding, like having a lot of people around or whatever. It gets messy when you're trying to move through things and people are rude or like bumpy and like whatever. But you get over all that because you have all this other life around you, and it's always fun to see. It's like being on the train today and seeing that little kid have so much joy. Like, first off, seeing him interact with, watching me while I'm playing the game, and then his mom giving him her account to play the game, and then he's showing both of us how good he's doing and everything else. Like, I love that. Like, life to me, being around people, having people around, and having good conversations, all those different things, it is fantastic. But a busy part of town that's completely dead, I love it just the same too. Anyway.
What makes it different from just being in an empty room is that you can feel the absence.
What? Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. This right here gave me Five Nights at Freddy's vibes, like dead ass. I'm like, you think about a place like this where it's like a Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, and then imagine being in there abandoned at night if the lights out. Yo, it's a making of a horror movie. There you go, a horror game.
Just being in an empty room is that you can feel the absence. If you'd never known the place was full, it
Yeah,
would just be a room. But because you know what it's supposed to be, the emptiness has a
something's
texture to
missing.
it. People get the same feeling from old social media profiles that haven't been touched in years, or home videos of people who have since died.
Yo,
今一番選ばれています。甘すぎないすっきりとした味わい。ナンバーワンジンジャーエール。カナダドライ。
The structure
that's crazy. When you think about this that he just said right here,
home videos of people who have since died.
I don't know if they like, this feels a little bit different to me, but I understand why it would be linked to this here. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I think that after someone passes away, if you do one one post on their social media saying that this happened, you know that they had a love for their fans, their community, whatever, and you're doing something for the community and saying thank you to that community for supporting that individual, or you made as the community made their lives so much better as their days were ending or whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. But to post on their stuff repeatedly, I find that fucking creepy. I don't know why. I get the reasons why it might be done, because maybe that person's grieving too, and now the community interaction with their grief as they go through the memory of this individual on a day-to-day basis, or a week-to-week or month-to-month basis. I think at some point in time it has to stop, because then you're just not letting go properly in the way that we're supposed to let go when it comes to death. Like, I don't know why. This I actually find semi creepy.
The structure is still there. The person isn't. And that gap creates something genuinely strange. Chrysalism.
This is easy. There's no way we all should know this one. Chrysalism. Think about chrysalis. The process of cocooning. There's no way. Like, I was sitting here looking at the words, and I'm like, okay, break them down based on Latin.
There's a reason so many people say they love rainy days, and it's more specific than
Yo, I already know where this is going. I can't lie. I love rain. I love being out in the rain, walking in the rain. As long as it's not like, flood, flood style rain, like shit like that. Give me an umbrella. Let me go outside and it's got that nice, either from a little drizzle up to that like medium heavy rain. You got the right umbrella and you hear the sounds of the rain as it taps on the top of the umbrella, the little tap, 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 like little thuds that just keep hitting it, and you're walking through and the fresh smell of everything. To me, especially if you're walking down the street and it's not overly crowded, it makes it so much better. You might see a little life movement here and there. It's just this all-encompassing thing of like, I don't know, cleanliness. But this, I'm all when you're saying chrysalism, like thinking of the cocoon sort of situation. This is a good rainy day, and you inside the crib, just like, I'm not going nowhere. For some reason, it could have been hot as fuck outside, but that rain has cooled it down. So you turn off the heater in the crib and you open up the window and you let the little breeze that's coming from that cool rain. It's not overly cold, so it's not overly hot. It's just like a chill situation. Maybe it's cold out. The rain's hitting. You turn the heater up. There's this, I don't know what it is. It creates this balance like in the house to where you just like, this is one of the best days. It makes you want to sleep sometimes, just like chill out, watch a movie, pass out on the couch. You wake up, you still feel refreshed. It's still yo. Let me stop, nigga. All right,
just liking the look of rain. When it's properly pouring outside, loud enough to hear, bad enough that going out would be miserable, and you're
I still
inside,
go.
warm, with nowhere to be,
I
something
knew it,
shifts.
yo.
The outside world and all its demands becomes physically unreachable. And in that, there's a kind of permission. Permission to stay put, to not deal with anything, to just exist where you are. This is chrysalism, named after the chrysalis, the cocoon a butterfly lives in
Voila. There's no fucking way that any of us should have got this one wrong.
before it emerges. It's that specific feeling of being sealed off from the world in a way that feels safe rather than trapped. What makes it work is the contrast. The noise of the
Yep.
storm outside is actually part of what makes the warmth inside feel so good. Your brain registers the difference and relaxes. That's the feeling. It's why some people will crack a window just to hear the rain better. Velocore. Used bookshops have an atmosphere that's hard to put your
Yo.
finger on. It's not just the smell of old paper, though that's part of it.
It's the
It's something
fuck.
about the objects
Yeah.
themselves.
It's the
The fact that every book on those shelves has already had a life before it ended up here. Someone bought it, maybe read it cover to
Think about that, yo. Like this is where germaphobes would lose their mind, like the amount of people that actually touch a book and then you end up with that book and you don't know what's happened to that book. Magazines, certain types of magazines, you open the magazine, the page is stuck together. Whatever. Look, people do what they do, but the notes that people would leave inside of books and different things like that, you're just like, what the fuck possessed him to write this here? For a good time, call this number. Or something creepy to where you just like, nigga, look, I don't know who this book belonged to. Get it out of my house. Like, I get
cover,
that.
maybe didn't. Left a receipt inside as a bookmark, or underlined something that
Yep.
meant something to them at the time. And then for whatever reason, it got let go. And now it's here, available again, waiting for someone new. Velocore is the word for that feeling. The quiet, slightly sad atmosphere of used bookshops and secondhand stores. Places full of objects that used to belong to someone's life and now don't. There's a melancholy to it, but it's not a heavy one.
I don't get sad over that shit. Like, I understand where it's just, it's one of those things. What I think is the worst is if you're buying like used electronics and it was in the case where the person, they maybe it was like a pawned item or something like that and they just couldn't afford to get it back for whatever I mean, some people will just pawn things just to actually be selling, but they get a little bit of extra money for pawning it and they don't care about picking it up. But it's in those instances where they did care about it. But what would be crazier, I think, is buying something, and not only does it have like value to it, But think about buying like a PC or something like that that was never properly wiped, and then you have something valuable in it, whether it's access to something or whatever, but the access is open to you, and that value could be yours, depending on the type of person you are. And I don't know if like if most people would be let me try and find so and so. Nigga, fuck that. I got how much now? And I don't know what, like BTC, whatever. There could be numerous things. They could have wrote a fucking a script that's and I don't know. But people leave valuable things inside of old items, and to be able to gain those items and have access to that, yeah.
It's more like a soft reminder that time passes, things change hands, and the world is full of small histories you could spend a lifetime discovering.
There's a story to everything.
Monocopsis. You're at a party or a work event or some
One
gathering where every
mono. So the prefix there of essentially monocopsis, and I'm gonna say you just feel this is where you just feel outside of everyone and everything else going on around you.
everyone seems comfortable and the conversation is
But
flowing.
you're not.
And you're
You're
fine.
not.
You're talking to people, you're smiling, nothing is technically
But you
wrong.
just don't
But there's this
feel.
low-level, constant feeling that you're slightly off, not unwelcome, more like a piece that doesn't quite fit the puzzle it's been placed in. Monocopsis is the word
Being
for
out of
that.
place.
The subtle, persistent feeling of being out of place. What makes it different from just being shy is that it doesn't really go away once you relax or warm up. It's more like something about your frequency doesn't match the room, and no amount of adjusting closes the gap.
And this is where people come off with that whole thing of the room, the energy was off in the room. That's it right there.
People who feel this regularly tend to have the same quiet thought underneath it all, that somewhere there's a room they'd walk into and it would just work, where fitting in would be effortless, where they'd stop noticing the gap.
Fall in love. Fall in love with the scent of Asia. Fall in love with Asia.
デューダにはあなたの転職に心を寄せる人がいる。
デューダは常に寄り添い続ける。
Most of us spend a decent amount of our lives looking for that room. Mauerbauer Traurigkeit.
Okay, that's about as German as fucking said. Listen, have I heard Mauerbauer Towerkite? Mauerbauer Towerkite. Yeah, it's definitely German.
This one comes from German, which
Yeah,
should
no
surprise
shit.
nobody given the
Yeah.
length of the word and the precision of what it describes. Someone reaches out to you, a friend, a family member, someone who genuinely wants to spend time with you and hasn't done
Oh, I do know what this one is. This is for all the people who are like, hell yeah, we definitely got to go out. We got to do something, and you never follow through with that shit. You never follow through with that shit. Yeah.
anything wrong, and something in you just closes. You make an excuse, say you're busy, put it off, and then you sit alone, which is technically what you chose, but it doesn't feel good either.
Yep.
Mauerbauer Traurigkeit, roughly the wall builder's sadness, is that. The urge to push people away even when you don't really want to.
What's crazy is this is something that I've seen pop up more and more and more as years go by. Within the last 10 years, I'm not joking. This has become huge. And I mean, honestly, you see it everywhere too. Like people like the memes and everything else. Ah, that's funny. No. This is just who people are now. It's like they're afraid to go out and experience life. And yeah, there you go.
What makes it different from just needing alone time is the involuntary quality of it. It feels more like a reflex than a decision. And then there's the loneliness that follows, the particular kind that's hard to complain about because you created it yourself.
Yep. Everybody wants somebody, but don't know how to be in a room with somebody or how to interact with somebody. Like, it's fucking
Moya.
crazy.
You find a book of old photographs, or stumble on some footage of a city street from the 1970s, or watch an old home video with those washed-out colors and the slightly wrong aspect ratio,
So what
and you feel this pull
is-
toward it, a longing for
Yeah.
that time, that look, that
but it
pace.
doesn't exist. That's the whole thing. Okay, I get it. I think I just I'll tell you, like playing. I used to love doing this all the time. I used to seriously. I'm not kidding about this. Especially when I was like really young and being taught English, because they scared. That no, it's true. It is so true. It's like here. It's just like here, where people don't interact with each other, but everybody's so lonely. And then, if here's what's fucked up about it though, if you do interact with somebody, like say like out on the street or whatever, like you go up and you want to go and talk to a girl, you see her, she's pretty, you're not even trying to even hit at that point in time, you just trying to have a conversation. Now the hitting might be, that might be the end goal, but at that moment she's intriguing, just your type, you like her style, you think she cute, you want to get to know her, you want to exchange that info, get out for a date, something like that. Same thing for dudes. Some girl want to go and holler at a dude, but when you do it, it's like they're afraid. They're fucking afraid because no one's used to that form of interaction. So then the question begs: it's like, if that's an annoyance to you, to Japanese people, if that's something that scares them, then how the fuck do you meet anybody? Most people meet, of course, at work and different things like that. That is where most relationships work, in old like school partners. That's where they all come from. Do them fucking relationships ever work? Fuck no. Because it's really out of convenience. And like, I'm not, let me get the fuck out of it. Let me stop this right now. That is a serious conversation. But yeah, people are so scared to fucking interact with each other. And then it just becomes a thing where, like, in that last one we were talking about, where you left that comment, it becomes their reality because it's so easy to do. At first, it was subconscious, and they were just like, "Well, no, I'm busy. I can't hang out." You fucking lied. You're not doing shit, and then you get lonely afterward. But after a while, that loneliness just becomes natural. And because you haven't been out in so long, that fear actually levels up. And then if you sit at home and do nothing but doom scroll, oh, that fear pow, hit a whole new high, whole new high. But this was crazy right here. This one is crazy. The time frame, like when people do this, I understand exactly what this is like. People are looking at movies from the fucking 20s, or film from the 20s and 30s or 50s and 60s, or when the fuck ever. And the reality of it is, what they're creating as this ideal world that they would love to be a part of didn't fucking exist. Everything is just your brain creating this idea based off of something that you see. And for some reason, faded colors and things of that nature, it actually really does bring this the fuck out. Which is why in filmography, it is so important to be able to play with certain lighting, with certain coloration, and knowing the rules to color grade things. It's the reason why, like the Matrix movies only specifically used grays and greens. The only real color you ever saw throughout the Matrix movies was the red pill, the blue pill, and the fucking white rabbit. Those are the only other colors that truly stood out. The woman in the red dress. Everything else was grays and greens, and it played so much into the idea of technology as the real world. Like, yeah, whatever.
Piece of life, which doesn't make much logical sense because you weren't there. You have no memories of it. There's no real reason to miss something you never had.
Yeah.
And yet the feeling is real and it's pretty common.
I missed the 50. Nigga, you were born in 2010. What? Wait, what? You were born in 2003. You missed what?
It's called anemoia, nostalgia for a time you've never known.
The Devil
The
Wears
reason it
Prada.
happens is pretty straightforward.
Car.
Old media only shows you the good stuff. The photos that got kept were the nice ones. The footage that survives tends to be celebrations and ordinary days that someone thought were worth recording.
Yep.
You're not
And you have to think about this too. You're not seeing the same individuals' photographs or videos or things like that. When it comes to like these large collections of an era, you're seeing one day in the life of numerous individuals. So if you think of like the decade of the 50s and you're getting one to I don't know. Fuck. 1 to 365 days out of a fucking decade, you probably would have hated that era. But all that you've seen creates this whole identity or this whole image in your brain that just doesn't fucking exist. This is a very real thing right here.
seeing what it was actually like to live then.
Wow.
You're seeing the highlight reel, filtered through an aesthetic that now feels warm and familiar. What you're really longing for is probably simplicity, that now feels warm.
Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, this right here, this photo looks like I want to say, man, this plays around with it right here. This photo looks like the 70s or the 80s. I really want to say this is the 80s. This is a photo taken in the 80s right here. This next one too feels exactly
And familiar. What you're
See,
really
I just did it. I was gonna say feels exactly the same. Ooh, I wish I could pull in on that Coke bottle. Like, but this photo eras and even yeah, this is like the 80s right here.
longing for is probably simplicity, and the past just happens to be the easiest place to project.
Now that right there, I don't know. This has got to be somewhere within like the what I'm gonna say like the 60s, but then nah, that doesn't say. That's just light reflecting off of it. This has got to be somewhere within like the 60s.
That onto. Oculism. Sometimes, usually when you're tired or staring at the sky too long, you get this sudden, uncomfortable sense of how small you are. There are 8 billion people on this planet right now, all
Visual
doing something.
realization.
The universe is
Yeah.
so large, the numbers stop meaning anything. You are one person in one place, in one tiny window of time, in a history that goes back billions of years.
Yep, Teflon, I am. That's what I was saying a bit ago. That'll be as soon as this video's over, we're gonna hop into Battlefield 6. I got RedSec, download everything else. It started up before I started the stream, so when you're ready, I mean, when I started, be ready.
And yet somehow, the thing you said at work last Thursday is taking up most of your brain right now.
That's crazy.
That feeling is called oculism, the awareness of how small your experience is compared to the actual scale of everything. Some people find it freeing, like the pressure comes off when nothing matters that much in the big picture. Others find it unsettling, like the floor briefly disappearing. Most people find it both, depending on the day.
Yep.
Either way, it tends to show up uninvited and leave on its own schedule. Onism. You're going to live one life, one timeline, one body.
I fucking knew it. Yo. This was kind of disgusting. This one is kind of disgusting because it's like it's not in like the negative way, but in the sense of people just don't fucking realize how true this is right here. One life, one timeline, one body, and so many things. It goes back to the last one, oculism. So many things that we are so hyper focused on at the end of the fucking day just will not matter. And so many people end up leaving this one life, this one timeline, this one body, and well, guess what? They leave it full of fucking regret, even though they might have had everything in the world. There was just, or they felt like they had everything they needed or wanted in the world, monetary wise, everything else, but they were missing human fucking connection. That is wild as shit. I mean, some people go out just like, you know what, fuck it, it is what it is. I had a good time. Yo, I those people, I appreciate the shit out of it. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. Like some shit like that, straight up.
one sequence of days, and at some point that becomes very real to you. Every choice you make is also a choice not to make 100 others. Every city you live in is a city you picked over dozens you didn't. Every path you take closes off paths you won't. The life you're building is, by
Yo,
definition, being built at the cost of every other version you could have.
that's fucking crazy. That's it's the idea of like string theory, M theory versus R theory. I stepped away for a moment to get some snacks and shit. Oh no, I was just saying, BF6. Yes, we will get into that as soon as this video's over. This is this is a good video. This last one is so fucking crazy. This the whole empty string theory, things like that, the way that one thing interacts with another can push an outcome of X, Y, and Z. Like, there's so much that goes into it, and we don't have the fucking time to go into that realm. But this right here, this is that whole idea of predetermination and everything else, or your destiny and all of those different things, when in all actuality it goes back to that question of, if you came back to if you were to go back in time, what choice would you make different if you could only make one choice different, or if you could make 5 choices or 10 choices differently throughout your life? What choices would you make? Now, the one choice thing, I get it. You might be able to veer off on a whole nother path or stay directly on this path. But that's what most people want to do. They want to make one choice differently and stay on the same path that they're on, just becoming wealthier. Let's say you've lived a decent enough. You've lived a what is a decent life? It seems so fucked up for me to say that, but I think you all get what I'm saying when I say this. Let's say that you've lived a life that, by general standards or the standards of a lot of other people, is a good life. All right, but you don't have something specifically. Now you're given the ability to go back in time and change one thing in your life. For people, when they're given that, they think that they will come back to this same exact line. Things will progress exactly the same. You went back in time, you're X, you're 10 years old again. You make the change that you want to make at 16, and your life still progresses. Yo, Case. Wait, hold up. Teflon, yo, the 5 gifted, my boy. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Big Teflon with the 5 gifted. Good look. Okay, get my head right. Now, you think you're going to go back to this same line, and your life's going to come back to this point, and you'll just have everything that you wanted, but that can't be the case, because when you made that change, you actually veered the courses at that point. So to be able to go back and make not one, but 5, 10 different choices, and let's just take into account that you have the knowledge of this when you get back to the point that you're at. You done fucked your whole life up at some point, because one of those choices that you made might have allowed you to stay on this line, maybe. But 5 choices? No, 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 no. Your life is veered off on 5 different paths at this point. Maybe 4 if we give you that one kept you on the same line. Like, this is an insane ass thought, and it's something that I don't think that people should ever really think about, because it can break your brain to an extent, and it's so unrealistic that is there really any real reason to put any thought into it? But then again, this is just what we do as human beings. We use our time and our lives to evaluate things that are in some ways, on some scale, fucking beyond us, honestly.
Had. Onism is the frustration of being stuck in just one place and one life. The quiet awareness of how much you're missing simply by being here, living this version, rather than any of the other ones that were technically available to you. It tends to show up when you're reading about a place you'll probably never visit.
But then that begs the question then, what if no matter what you do, all those choices lead you to the exact same point, period?
Or watching a documentary about a completely different kind of life and feeling the gap. The internet has probably made this worse. You've never had such easy access to evidence of
Oh
all the
my
lives
God.
you're not living. Every
Oh,
corner
oh my God. Yo, this is the exact reason why I tell people, back the fuck up from your phone sometimes. Go out and live your life, because you sitting here taking in a bunch of shit, and a great deal of it isn't even real. It's not even real. So by doing this, you're only driving yourself crazy. Yeah, that's a fact.
of human experience is one click away, which is incredible, and also sometimes a lot to sit with. Because no matter what you choose, you're always aware of everything you didn't.
美容室予約しよう。
That's disgusting. I think that was the end of it. That's disgusting. Because no matter what you choose, you're always aware of the things you didn't choose. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's that. That is the end of that video. And thank you all so much. Please feel free to go ahead and let me know your thoughts on any one of those, especially if you're watching this later on. Oh, it's what's crazy is all it's doing right now is notify me of what I was already notified of. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and get switched over. We are hopping into Battlefield 6 Red